Tyler Perry is a troll. Shall we talk about 688? Shannan E. Johnson here, CEO of The Professional Pen, where we develop screenwriters from I did a pitch. Need help in your screenplay? Go to www.theprofessionalpen.com. Tyler Perry is a troll, and here's why. He can either write films like 688 and A Jazz Man's Blues, but he chooses to give you subpar content because he knows that you will watch it and it will still make him rich. Or he puts his name on films like 688 and A Jazz Man's Blues, but he didn't write them. Either way, he's trolling y'all. He's trolling y'all. He ain't trolling me. He's trolling y'all. I'm kidding. Not. But let's talk about the film. Decent film. Kept me engaged. I watched it late at night when I was sleepy, and I didn't fall asleep and I didn't turn away. I enjoyed the movie. Like most people, I enjoyed learning about this part of our history. It definitely made me feel pride that these women were able to take on this mission. I mean, to be honest with you, I wasn't surprised. As soon as I heard them start talking about having an issue with the male, I was like, the black women gonna figure it out. And as soon as I saw them give them those living quarters, that was basically, I don't know if it had been bombed before, but definitely had been through some things. I said, the black women are gonna figure it out. And baby, did they. Did they? They had a hair salon. Because you know why? Because Captain Charity Adams said, you have to be perfect in your uniform. And as we know, black women and their hair have always been a controversial thing. So in order for us to look perfect, that means our hair has to be done. Now, I don't know where they got these pink covers from. Baby, they had hair dryers in Germany. I said, the black women gonna figure it out. This is what I know. They're gonna get a system. There's going to be order around this male. Okay? It's gonna get figured out. So, I mean, obviously the movie is about the fact that it got figured out, but I didn't need to watch the movie. And to be honest with you, I didn't know much about this part of our history like other people. So I didn't know what the movie was about. I had not really seen any trailers. I've just seen pictures here and there of Kerry Washington, who did a fantastic job. But other than that, I knew it was about the military. I knew it was about black women in the military. I did not know that their mission would be to get the postal service back on track to keep morale up in the military. Because if the people who are fighting at that time, men, were fighting, do not get to communicate with their families don't know that they're okay, and they don't know that their families are okay, then the morale goes down. So their job was basically to lift morale. Now, on that topic, before I talk about the story elements, on that topic, some people are so hateful. You have so much hate that you would rather not receive your own mail. You would rather the people who are fighting, the men who are fighting, to have low morale, your own men to not receive mail, so that you can be right about the failure of these black women. Now, how are you this hateful that you make it so you can't have privileges yourself just because the people who could be providing that service for you don't look like you? Anyway, let's talk about the story. Okay, so it's not a perfect film by any means, but it is definitely an aspiring film and told decently well. A lot of the critiques that I've heard from people, and one of the ones that I agree with, is that there could have been more character development. We don't know much about Captain Charity Adams. She obviously is the star. Carrie is the biggest star on the set, is what I mean. And so most of us are watching it because we want to see her. And she's playing a woman who literally changes history, who literally is the only black woman to have her name on some building somewhere. I don't remember, y'all. Watch it. It's in the credits. My bad. But she is the thing that holds this thing together, and we don't know anything about her outside of her being this captain. Now you would ask yourself, okay, well, is this her story? It could be. It's not. But it could be. She definitely has a storyline, which is to lead and deal with any complications that come in finishing this mission. But we're brought into this story through Miss Derricott, who is acting as our protagonist, but quickly becomes very inactive in pursuing anything. It takes a while, so this is my second critique, it takes a while before we really understand why she's in the military. And a matter of fact, I wasn't clear until the very end of the movie when the real Miss Derricott, hopefully I'm saying her name correctly, reads from a letter or says out loud, or maybe it's written on the screen or something, that she went to find her deceased man who's not her man. Watching the film, it's clear that she doesn't want to be in the military, but she says that she wants to go and fight Hitler. I don't believe it. I don't think we're meant to believe it, but it kind of feels like she's joining the military just so that she can fulfill her man who's not her man's destiny, right? It isn't clear that she wants to be where he was so she can find him, set eyes on him. It also isn't clear that she's having some of these same male issues, because she receives her letter about him, but it doesn't seem like he's receiving any letters from her. But again, that doesn't become clear until we're at the end of the movie and we're hearing the real story be told. We see her writing letters at the beginning of the film, but we don't see her mailing them off. We don't see her waiting on the mail like we do the white woman who takes it to Eleanor Roosevelt. We see her standing out there looking for the mailman, looking through the mail, getting nothing. We see her taking those actions. We don't see Miss Derricott doing the same thing. So it isn't clear that she's not getting mail. It isn't clear that she's unhealed because she just doesn't know where he is. You received a letter to say what happened to him. You can choose to process that or not process that, but it felt like a big leap to receive a letter stating that the man who's not your man went off to the war, and not very long at all after lost his life. And now you want to carry yourself out there? Now what kind of sense that make? Now, I would have understood if it was, I'm going because I need to find him. Now, while she's there and she's failing at joining this military, baby, she is failing. And I'm watching her like, girl, go home. I'm literally saying out loud, why are you here? You are really bad at this. Go home. But if I understood that she was there because she was searching for him, or even searching for a letter from him, not knowing that she would eventually end up on the mission to fix the postal service, but just that she was looking for information, then I would have understood why she was trying to push through while she was out there, but I didn't. So I, like Captain Adams, was like, girl, you making us look bad. Girl, go home. Like, you don't have to be out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to join the military. There are other options. Like, this is what you decided? So that wasn't very clear for me. Her motivations weren't clear. And then she didn't have any clear goals. And so even though I understood on an emotional level, because this is a drama, that she was dealing with grief, that grief was not externalized into something physical that she could go after so that I could track her progress. There was nothing to show that her grieving was moving forward. We're 3/4 of the way in the movie and you still feel exactly how you felt 15 minutes in. There is no progress. And then the movie is over by the time she gets to a place of like saying, okay, I found him. But then like the movie's over. And we don't really spend a whole lot of time with her outside of her moments of emotion, you know, her emotional bouts about what she's feeling, because there's a man who's courting her. So that brings it up. And then she has a friend who can bring a lot of conflicts. Let's just say it that way. And so, you know, she has to deal with that. But other than that, I really think that there could have been some more development just on her plot, on her storyline, since she was the one who was bringing us into this. And again, I understand why she was chosen, because she is the actual person who is living, who was able to tell her story to the journalist who wrote the article, and therefore Tyler Perry was able to option and then tell this story as a film. I get it. But I needed more about Charity Adams. I wanted to invest in her, not just because she was skillful and great, but I really wanted to know more about her. And then for Miss Derricott, she just needed to be streamlined and focused in a little bit. And I think it would have just heightened it just this much. There were definitely some tropes in there. We definitely leaned into the curvy, dark-skinned, unrefined Jezebel character. And it was Shanice, and we love her. Her voice is great. If y'all don't remember seeing her in The Wiz live on NBC, and she was fantastic. Her acting was fantastic, and so was the person playing Miss Derricott. But it definitely leaned into a trope. It's like, well, you have a group of, how many of them? There was a group of 5 that we kind of, I won't say followed, because none of those women had storylines either. None of them. We're following 5 people, and Miss Derricott is grieving. Shanice's character is spicy for no reason, and the other women are just kind of there. One of them was, you know, supposed to be the Christian one, so all she did was shame Shanice through the entire movie. It's like, you're not growing either. None of y'all are growing? Nobody? Okay. And then the last thing I'll say about it is, this is probably too late, but spoiler alert, they lose a couple of their soldiers because they are at war. And I didn't feel anything about it. I didn't shed a tear. Do you want to know why? Because I didn't know those people. I'm following 5 women. Kill 2 of them. Kill them. Why are you killing these random chicks we don't know nothing about? I don't care nothing about them dying. Now, in the general scheme of things, I care because I understand these are real people, real women, and you're just showing us that those are some of the sacrifices that are made when you join the military. I get it. As a storyteller, though, for impact, you have to kill someone I'm invested in if you want me to feel something. So all I'm thinking is 5 of them, and 2 of them couldn't have been the ones. I don't know. I say that to say it was still a beautiful movie. Come on, budget. We love a good budget. The wigs weren't too bad. Every now and again, it was a shot that was like, but the wigs weren't too bad. So, have you watched? Did you enjoy it? What were your thoughts? Happy writing. And that's it. Want more content? Like, subscribe, and for notifications. Get notes on your script that get you unstuck at www.theprofessionalpen.com. I'm out.